Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another book recommendation video, and this time I'm going to be talking to you about books that I found very addicting and that I think would help get anybody out of a slump. These are ones that are like fast-paced. I have a lot of romantic suspense on here because those are the kind of books that I feel like are addicting and ones that really pulled me out of a slump. So without further ado, let's just hop into the video. Okay, so the first books that I'm going to talk to you about are the Insider Trilogy by Tijan. I loved this series. It's all the audiobooks are really well done and they're all available on Scribd. So I flew through the audiobooks for these. If all three of them were out when I had started reading the series, I would have just like picked them up continuously one after another, which for me doesn't happen that often with series anymore. I tend to like wait a couple months in between books, but for this one I would have picked it up right away. It's just the third one wasn't out, so it took me a long time to get to the third book, but once I did, I really enjoyed it. These books are like romantic suspense, a little bit of mafia vibes. I don't know, none of them are actually in the mafia, but I feel like there's like mafia vibes, if you know what I mean by that. So basically this follows Bailey, who the very beginning of this book is like a kidnapping attempt. She gets like abducted by these three guys who are all masked men, and like she ends up being saved, but it's only because one of her father's men comes and rescues her. So she went her whole life not knowing who her father was. She was raised by her mother, and it turns out that her father is this really big guy in the tech industry. He like sold off he's really good at hacking and coding, so he sold off his like code design to the government, and that's like sort of what he's known for. So it's sort of a mystery. The first book is sort of a mystery on like who is like going after her, as well as she has to go and live with her father for better security with her step siblings and stuff that she's never met, and it's just a whole other rich wild world than what she and her mom have been living in. So she has to get used to all of that, and it quickly involves a lot more, but I'm not going to talk about any more because I don't want to spoil the rest of the books. But that's like the very beginning of the first book, and the plot line really thickens. It's so fast paced. It's so well done. I loved it. These are the books that like made me realize like I need to read more romantic suspense. I'm loving these. So if you're interested in like those kind of vibes, I think this one you would really like, and it hopefully will get you out of a reading slump. Okay, so the next one is actually a new release. I think it's actually releasing the day I put this video out. It is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I loved this book. So the concept behind this one is that it's a past and present timeline about this couple, and I find books like that are really addicting because the whole time you're just like reading so fast trying to figure out, okay, so what happened in the past that made them not together in the future, because in the past they seem like such a good couple, you know? And this one follows a wedding planner and a grumpy florist, and it's so good. I've been seeing a lot of hype about this on Bookstagram and BookTube, and I think it's worth it. I thought it was just so cute. The male main character is like such a sweet, like a secret sweetheart, such a secret little romantic at heart, and I love a fluffy good guy cinnamon roll hero. He's like so grumpy, but he's such a cinnamon roll at heart. This one I think would be a really good option if you're like in a bit of a reading slump without getting into a whole new series, because I know that it's not always a good idea to just jump into a whole new series, but this one I think would help. Not like too long of a book either, but you're getting both the past and present, so you are trying to figure out what happened with them in their past. So this is a good one. Okay, and the next one is the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. This one is a series like, so if you're willing to get sucked into a series, this one is so good. Every single one of the male main characters in these books are possessive alpha males. So if you like that in a guy, These books are great. They're all cowboys. It takes place in Calgary. And all of the women are also just like such strong, independent, badass women as well. Like they're not just ones to take guys' shit, but they're also so loving. So like there's a lot of found family. Even though this follows the family, it is a lot of found family, I feel like, too. Especially because the first book and the fourth book follow actually sisters, and you get to see their relationship blossom throughout the 4 books, which I think is really nice. There's a reason why these are so hyped up. I feel like I don't even know if I should go and explain every single one of these books or not, because they are really popular, and so I feel like everyone's heard of them at this point. But basically the first one follows a bull rider and his publicist. He's gotten some bad press, and she sort of has to babysit him and help protect his image in order to continue getting brand deals and stuff like that. The second one is a single dad nanny romance where he is like having a hard time keeping up with the ranch duties because he has to take care of his son, so he's trying to find someone who isn't just gonna fall in love with him, fall over his feet, because a lot of the single women in town are like constantly trying to like nab him because he's such a great guy. And then the third one, it's a hockey and a ballerina, a hockey player and a ballerina. They were childhood best friends, and they have a bit of like, not a falling out, but like they don't spend as much time together, and she's sort of in an arranged marriage that doesn't make her happy. And there's the scene at the beginning of the book where he like drives her away from this horrible marriage while she's wearing her wedding dress, and it's really cute. And then the fourth book is a surprise slash secret baby, and it follows like single mom and Theo. I'm sure if you've heard about the series, I'm sure you've heard about people talk about Theo because he is like such a protective cinnamon roll hero. Like he's very sweet, but he's also very protective, especially because Winter is like the sister from the first book, and people don't necessarily like her because she's sort of like cold to a lot of people. He like defends anybody who thinks anything badly about her. Anyways, that's a quick synopsis of each one, but I read these 4 books in like a week because I love them. The audios for all of them are really well done. So this one, it's worth the hype. Pick it up. Okay, and the next book is Resist, and this one is sort of a romantic suspense. So both the female and male main character are film agents, like they're agents for actors, and they have to end up going on set to this remote island because there's a lot of things going wrong with the accommodations, and there's safety issues, so they end up having to go on set to protect their clients. And in there, they find out that someone's sabotaging this movie because they're like, the safety things and stuff like that are all things that are very obviously done on purpose. Like it's obvious that it was like planted. So they have to figure out who's trying to sabotage this movie while also trying to protect their clients. And they also have a bad history between each other, so they're sort of trying to avoid each other, but they can't really because they've got to work together because their clients are the 2 main stars of this thing, so they have to work together and make sure that they're getting on well and stuff like that. So so it's like, it's really addicting because the whole time you're trying to figure out like, who is it who's sabotaging the movie. And I'm gonna say, I did not see the plot twist coming. I did not figure out who was sabotaging it. I thought it was a pretty good plot twist. I don't know, I've seen reviews where other people did guess, so I don't know. I thought it was addicting because I was trying to figure it out and I didn't, and I feel like I'm pretty good at figuring out like thriller endings, but this one I didn't. So, oh, and it's also super steamy, and I think it's Jason Clarke who narrates this one. Okay, and last but not least is Small Town Strings by N.A. Jameson. I have never heard anybody talk about this book. It has like only like I think it has less than 100 reviews on Goodreads because no one has picked this up. but it's so addicting. I can't even tell you what it is about this book. It is a reverse harem, brothers best friends. So all three of them are her brother's best friends. And they sort of like break her heart at the beginning, saying none of them would ever be with her because they're trying to get her out of this town because she is a really good singer, and they're trying to make sure she leaves the town and doesn't try and stick around for them. So like they sort of break her heart at the beginning. So when she comes back into town after she's done her singing career and now wants to produce music, they have a lot of groveling that they have to do as well. And the writing in this book is not the best. It kind of reminds me of a Wattpad story, but it's so easy to read. It's so like, it just made me like giggle and giddy when I was reading it. So I think this one is a really good addicting romance as long as you like reverse harems. If you don't like reverse harems, maybe this won't be the one for you, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, and those are all the books that I'm going to recommend today for addicting romances. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below one book that you found really addicting or a series that you found really addicting, because I'm always looking for book recommendations for when or if I ever fall into a slump. Subscribe if you're not already, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.